Yo! JD here, Limitless, and as you can see, we are back on F1 2021 as always, and we are back with some league racing action. This is the BRS, British Racing Series, and this is, I believe it was round 10 of the championship. We arrive at Bahrain here today, the same track that Formula 1 hosts this weekend for the opening round of the 2022 season. But this is a sprint qualifying format. So this first race is a reverse championship order, 25%. And then the results of this will make the grid for the 50% race that will follow. And only the top three get points in this very first race. So had quite a comfortable lead in this championship over Snipes SB by around 40 or so points at this stage. So I was feeling quite relaxed coming into this race. Bahrain is actually quite a good track for me. I didn't really have that much time to prepare for this, but I actually felt quite confident nonetheless. So we're going to be starting on the medium tyres, because you can start on any tyre you desire since there's no qualifying. So that's the lights go out now, trying to get a good start. But Snipes SB, my championship rival, or closest championship rival, starts on the soft tyres, which is very interesting. So we go down the inside, and actually, since we had this lead in the championship, I decided to take a few more risks than usual. And I don't know if you can see it, but Snipes has made an absolutely incredible start. I think he's gone up to P13 already, as that will go side by side with the Ferrari, and just about making our way through here as we're going to go side by side into here. Who blinks first? Managed to come out on top, and now we're up into P16. So not a bad start from my perspective, because see, Snipes is now up to P12. He is in the Alpine here, but I actually wasn't aware of how much of a good start he actually had. So he's slotted into P16 now. Go check if we got any damage, which the answer is no. And it's just all about how quickly we can go through this field. But it isn't really that important, as long as I could say where it's the... Well, I didn't start in the top 5, top 6. I would be quite happy with that for the 50% race that we have following from this. So I didn't really expect to get into the top 3 from here, especially since we have reserve drivers who are filling in all the time, who are very, very fast, as this James B is an absolute machine on this game. He's got quite a number of world records, in fact. I think he's on the controller, and he is a very, very fast driver. So I knew it was going to be unlikely that we could beat him in this race. And now we're up into P11, as a number of people have pitted already. So as we are going to skip on in a little bit here, you can see we've just kind of slotted in to this train, and at this stage there's not really that much you can do. So my teammate's up ahead of me, but he isn't obligated to let me past or anything at all. And yeah, the only thing we can do is just wait for a good opportunity. Everyone is just still all together at this stage of the race, and we just got to be patient. So as we skip towards lap 5, you can see we're managing to conserve our ERS quite nicely. Still got that massive train up ahead of us, P11 in this race. So coming off here, we're going to be easy within the DRS zone, as a number of people, a couple of people, have decided to pit. So now we've gone up into P9. As we skip on again, up into P8, because I think someone broke down or just had a little mistake. So we're still behind our teammate. Still got plenty of the ERS on board. There's a number of people, 3 people, now decide to go into the pits. And Snipes has actually pitted from the softs onto the medium. So the gap is 7.5 to James, 2.1 to Arch. And you can see on this in-lap, we've actually managed to close that gap down slightly. So we're pushing quite hard and making sure we spot the pit limiter line nicely. And now we're going to go on a set of fresh softs for the end of this race. So right now, I was actually feeling quite good. I felt like I made quite good progress. We're going to have, among the fresher softs, out of everyone going towards the end of this race, the Snipes has now gone past now. So he's actually made quite a lot of progress starting on the soft tyre. Now he is on the solid tyre. And you can see we haven't lost that much time. If anything, we've actually gained a bit of time on this group overhead. And now we have a set of fresher soft, or one lap fresher soft tyres as well. So the goal now is to try and get through this as quick as I can and try and catch some guys up ahead who were on the medium tyres. So coming up behind HSR Porky, who is a very, very fast driver himself. He makes a little bit of a love tap with my teammate and then unfortunately comes off worse there. So now that's promoted us up into PD13. But I do think there are a couple of people still yet to pit in this race as well. So the goal here now is just to try and make some clean overtakes without getting any damage, and really just making sure I secure a good grid position for the 50% race that will be coming up. So going to be using a little bit of the overtake here as my teammate decides to stay behind the McLaren, and the McLaren's not going to have the DRS on the head of him, so we could maybe get two cars in one. So see, McLaren's got no DRS. We're going to slot into the slipstream of my teammate who's not using the overtake button, and you can see XR Mark has just come out the pits, and now we're going to get this move done. My teammate doesn't fight it particularly hard, and now we're going to get the benefit of the DRS on the exit of this corner as well. So two birds, one stone there, and now the goal is to try and get within the DRS zone of LOA Maris, who I believe is third in the championship. So if he can get into his DRS zone, then we don't have to waste ERS for a second lap afterwards. So it's really, really crucial that we try and get within that detection point by the end of this lap, because then we have about 4 laps to go after this to make up some positions, and we're still only in P10 in this race, so plenty of work to do if you want to get a good grid position for the 50%. So coming through into here, gap is just over 1 second as he goes a little bit wide here, so that could be a vital opportunity to get in the detection point, and I think we have done just enough as the detection line is right there. So coming off the exit of this corner, done everything we've needed to do, and now we are just going to save our battery and use it when we're going to be in a bit more of an attacking position. So you can see there's quite a few cars up ahead, which we do have fresher tyres in. So now we're just going to stay on board, most likely towards the end of this race, just to see how much progress we can make. So coming through into this first sector, trying to get a good exit here, and we've managed to put out the DRS zone of my teammate as well, so no real threat from behind. It's only really NXR Mark who does have 1 lap fresher tyres than myself. So now coming into this very, very difficult double left, probably one of the hardest corners for trail braking on this game. And all we've been doing this lap is try to get as close as we can with using as little battery as possible. But anyway, Maris is on the controller, which is surprisingly quite good round Bahrain. But I know he's going to probably put up a little bit of a fight since he is third in this championship and there's still a lot of points to play for. So coming off the exit of this last corner, he's using the boost, but his red light is flashing, so we decide to turn off our ERS, because you can see with the red light flashing, he's going to be a lot slower in the straight line. So we're going around the outside. He goes quite deep into this corner, but leaves me just enough room, but we get the better traction. And now we've managed to pick up another position as another Mercedes, in fact, has actually gone off the track. So that is 2 positions in 2 corners. And now we are up into P8 in this race. Next target is AMS Fairley. And we will be showing the championship standings at the end of this video after we have the results here. And we're just going to try and do the same thing to him. But he does have the DRS in the car up ahead. And I think he's probably got a little bit more battery than what his teammate had. So coming through to here, let's see how close we can get. And having a lap fresher soft tyres, I think around most tracks is a very, very good thing to have, and especially round here as well. So coming through into this last corner, again, we're just going to try and conserve our battery as much as possible as the AlphaTauri gets a little bit of out of shape with Ferrari Arch up ahead. So it looks like these two are probably going to be going side by side quite shortly. So we're still just going to manage our ERS nicely, having to brake. I'll be quite careful on the brakes in case we ran to the back. They're going side by side, going off into here. And then the exit Ferrari Arch just unfortunately gets bounced into the wall there. Safety car is turned off for this 25%, as then the Ferrari runs into the Red Bull. Everyone seems to be dropping like flies at the moment in this race. And now we are into P6, which is not too bad, but you can see up ahead Snipes SB is in P4 on the medium tyres, and he's had an amazing run in this, basically the first part of this race. So he really managed to make up quite a lot of positions there. And right here, Ermine doesn't have the DRS in front of him, so we know this is going to be a fairly easy overtake. But again, I wanted to save as much ERS as possible for the last 2 laps, just to see if I can close in on the medium runners, and also just using my battery as a form of attack. So coming into the final corner, are we going to be using any of the battery? I don't think we're going to be using anything at all, because I was quite confident that he wouldn't really be putting up too much of a fight, which he doesn't. And now we are up into P5, getting that move done quite nicely. But the gap is about 2.8 seconds up to my championship rival of Snipes SB. So now as we move on to the last lap of the race, we were closing in, but we were not going to have enough time to make the inroads that we wanted to. And going across the line, what is the result going to be? It's actually going to be Snipes who gets a podium, it seems. So very, very good recovery. And he actually gains a point to me in the championship because of that. So we start the 50% race in 4th place, which I wasn't too unhappy with. We're going to start on mediums once again. But you are going to hear a little bit of commentary from myself, my thoughts before the race. So this will give you a good insight. Yep, Snipes softs again. He's behind the championship by almost 40 points, so this will take a few risks. So yeah, my mentality was, again, that I didn't really mind taking a few risks because of the gap was so big. So we've got 4 lights, 5 lights here, and most of the time when you're at the front, incidents don't happen that often, but we get a fairly poor start. RCX Wazza is going quite aggressive, but they're going into this turn 1. You can see by my face that, yeah, we just outbroke ourselves. And that was just completely our fault. And I think you're about to hear me confirm that as we go through the score now. It's completely my fault. And yeah, it's, yeah, I think if I didn't hit RCX, then I probably would have hit James. So just very, very clumsy from my side. Being squeezed a little bit, I kind of lost my reference point for that first corner, and it was a risk I didn't really need to take at all. It was the first lap of the race, 29 laps to go. Even if I lost a position, probably would have still been in that front train for the win. So just a bit careless from my side, and again, just not very necessary, even if you have a big lead in the championship. But the thing is now, is that Snipes, I believe, is actually winning this race, and I'm out the points. So from a 40-point gap, or I think it was less than 40 points, in fact, it could be a 25-point swing, potentially. And I think there's only 3 or 4 races to go with double points in the final round at Abu Dhabi. I've got to be careful in this championship, and I think I didn't really realise that until that instant happened there. I felt like I was just very, very comfortable. As now we skipped on the end of the race, but the safety car has now come out, and
safety car.
We decided to put on the hard tyres because we had nothing to lose, to go as fast as we could into this race, and a safety car has come out. So that means we go on soft, so still out of the points, but now it is game on, and we could maybe get back in the points in this race. So that's why you always never give up. I was going to put on a set of mediums, but I'm really, really happy I put on a set of hards because you can see there's some instances up ahead once again. And yeah, we've got to try and maximize this damage limitation now. So now we're up into P12, and as I was trying to say, I'm really, really happy I put on a set of hards because I don't think the mediums could have lasted this deep into the race. So it really did still put me in play. But you can see there's a whole cluster of cars going up ahead here, but then we get a 3-second time penalty, and that could be costly for our race and even the championship. That could be crucial for this championship as well. But we do go up into P10 momentarily. There are a few other drivers who do have penalties as well. I was quite hopeful that I would get that penalty removed because I felt like I didn't really gain an advantage, but I can confirm that that penalty was not removed, and I guess that's pretty fair in that case. But we still go push as hard as we can, maybe even try and make a 3-second gap to some cars behind before the end of the race, if that is possible. So coming out through to here, starting the penultimate lap of this race, and RCX is a reserve driver, but he's been very, very attacking, which forces me to use my ERS. So it kind of forces me to go for the overtake on Dizzy down the inside, who does leave me a sufficient amount of room, but that has just wasted a lot of the battery when I really didn't want to do it. So now we got to try and be very, very careful with our battery management going into this last lap if we want to pick up any positions. And right now, it looks like we're not going to get any points in this race. A race that I was coming into very, very confidently, as Dizzy actually goes out wide, so that gives us another position. And the 2 cars behind me also have 3-second time penalties. So I was hopeful that maybe we could actually still rack up some points here. And after what happened on the first lap, being on the hards, being miles behind, we have been given somewhat of a lifeline by this safety car. So now coming into the penultimate corner, and we're coming up towards BS Ermine and Alex Yeno. And again, just go try and be smart with our battery management. We don't have the benefit of the DRS here, which I don't know if Alex was aware of that then, but we don't have any. And Snipes actually sets the fastest lap of the race, so that's an extra point for the championship as well. So DRS has been enabled now, but it's going to be after this corner. So going into here, do we get this move done? I believe yes we do. So now we've gone up into P8, and now we've got to try and see if we can overtake Omar as well. But Alex behind doesn't have a 3-second time penalty, so it's pretty much certain that he is going to regain that position as we cross the line. But you can see here now, I want to try and maybe gain a position on Ermine up ahead. So coming out of this right-hander, trying to get a good exit, and we get some very, very good traction. But right here, all I'm concerned about is just trying to put as much gap as possible between myself and the cars behind. Try and create that 3 second, and hoping that the people behind also have 3 seconds worth of time penalty. So coming up into here, we're coming into penultimate corner now, and I don't think we are going to be close enough. I think everyone is on the same freshness of tyre, so it's just purely about the driving now, and we are getting closer, but we don't have the ERS to use as well, and I think the gap is just going to be too big. So as we're coming through into here, let's see who wins this race, and the winner is Snipes SB with the fastest lap as well. And all of a sudden, this championship has actually completely turned, and we didn't get the points either. So no points, and my nearest championship rival wins the race as well. And you can see here now, the championship is now down to 11 points. Yeah, a big lesson for me. We're not actually racing this weekend because we have a break week, so we'll be back for Portimao next Saturday. But I am going to be live streaming a watch along of Formula 1 this weekend, so please stay tuned for that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you very soon. Peace.